Hello, dear reader. In honor of Speak Now Taylor's version coming out this week and the Eras Tour announcing the Australian dates and me not getting tickets,
There's a possibility.
I wanted to make a video about something very unhinged that I did a few months ago because I need to find a way to funnel my obsession in another direction that's not just me constantly speaking at my partner about Taylor Swift. Coming into the Eras Tour era of Taylor Swift music, I wanted to work out which album was my favorite based on rating each song on each album and then averaging them out to definitively rank them. I knew that Folklore was my favorite album going into this, mostly based on overall vibe. Now, I've done this before, Speak Now Taylor's version, so obviously there are going to be songs that I'm not able to rate. I'm sure that my whole rating would change once I have those songs able to be ranked. But for now, I just wanted to keep it as it is and walk you through my process. So before I get started, I want to issue a disclaimer. I am obsessed with Taylor Swift. She's a genius to me. In my mind, she cannot do anything wrong. So my ratings for each song are not related to whether or not I think that a song is good or not. It has no bearing on the rating at all. It's more my personal enjoyment of each song. So I want everyone to know that if I rank a song low, that is a song that you really like, I don't want you to think that there's anything wrong with you enjoying the song and thinking it's good. This is purely me and whether I personally enjoy it. I might think it's a good song, but I don't personally enjoy it. And we'll see that as we go through my rankings. Let's get into the ranking system. I feel like it's going to make a lot more sense once we do that. Alrighty, so we have the standard 1 to 10 rating system, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. Easy enough, but let's break that down further so that those numbers have a bit more meaning and context. So starting at 10, 10 is showstopper, groundbreaking, never been done before. It's on my wedding playlist. Like, it is #1 status. It is my top songs of all time that Taylor has made. They're all 10s. I'm just kidding. Well, no, I'm just kidding. 9 is amazing. I listen to it regularly. I love it. 8 is it's on a playlist. 7, I have it liked on Spotify, but it's not necessarily on a playlist, but I listen to it regularly. 6 is I like it. It's not good enough for me to listen regularly, but I'm happy when I hear it. 5, it's good babes. 4, it's all right. It's not bad. When I'm in the mood, I'm happy to hear it. 3, it's a song. It's not bad. I'll listen to it, but it's not one that I'm regularly reaching for. 2, I won't complain if I hear it on shuffle. And 1 is a skip. So overall, we've got mid to amazing ratings, right? There's no terrible rating. So fingers crossed you all understand. I'm begging you not to crucify me. So with this overall system, I wrote out every single album and each song on the album on an Excel spreadsheet, and I started assigning them ratings and used a formula to average each of them out to eventually have a number that was assigned to each of them, and then I put them in the order, and that's how I know which one's my favorite. Okay. Now, I just want to say that I am not an Excel girly in any sense. The only way that I normally use Excel, other than for work, is in a sort of daily planner sense, kind of how someone would use Notion. I don't do the formula shit because it overwhelms me. So the fact that I did this for this shows my dedication to Miss Taylor. Thank you. So without further ado, let's go through my ratings. Let's start with the lowest. I think it's going to be easiest to get this out of the way. So my lowest rated album was, unsurprisingly, Debut. There are some songs on the album that I enjoy, and per the rating system, I have liked on Spotify. But overall, I don't have any nostalgia for this album. When I first came into listening to Taylor Swift's music, It was on the Fearless album, so I don't really have much attachment to any of the songs necessarily. I only really know the super big hits of this album. Our Song is a banger. Apart from that, I barely reach for any of the songs on here. If they happen to appear in shuffle, you know, that's fine mostly. But yeah, I'm definitely not reaching for debut. It is largely a skip album for me, and I've been collecting the Taylor Swift albums on vinyl recently, and I've been debating whether I collect every single album, which includes Taylor's versions and originals. And I've been discussing with my partner whether or not I should get debut, because I know that we won't listen to it. But I think the collector in me is definitely gonna win over here, and I probably will end up buying it, but it's just not really for me. I'm not really a country girly. I'm more for her pop stuff, but I appreciate that that's where it started. And I appreciate, you know, early Taylor. I love her. You get me. I don't have to explain it anymore. The ones that were the most interesting for me, I found, were the re-recorded albums. So I thought that I was going to have both Fearless and Red much higher in my overall favorite rank. Both All Too Well, the 10-minute version specifically, and Love Story are really, really, really high up there for me for nostalgia, a lot of it, but also just because I love those songs. So it was interesting for me to have them pretty low down, but I realized both of those albums have so many more songs because those Taylor Swift versions added so many more songs from the vault, and it dragged down the overall rating of the album. So I'm interested now to see how Speak Now, Taylor's version, is going to fare compared to where I've got it currently, and eventually 1989 and Reputation in the future when they are re-recorded, because they're going to have so many more additional songs, and that'll probably alter things overall. Speaking of Speak Now, I remember when it was announced that there would be a Taylor's version of that album, I couldn't really think of many songs that I knew outside of Enchanted and Dear John. Turns out I knew a few more since re-listening to it fully to prepare myself for the Taylor's version of Speak Now. And I've already changed my opinion since even doing this ranking on the album, but I just wanted to keep the fidelity of the original rankings, so I haven't altered anything since I originally ranked them. But when we have the Taylor's version of Speak Now, I'm sure things are going to change. I've been making a sort of inside joke with my partner for Sparks Fly. So I already know that that song specifically is definitely going to be ranked higher by the time the Taylor's version comes out, because yeah, I have more meaning attached to those songs now, and I've done like far more research on the album and things that were happening to Taylor at the time when she was writing the songs. So yeah, I understand and appreciate the album more now than when I did when I originally re-listened to it. So yeah, but I'm excited for the album to come out nonetheless. It's on pre-order. It's probably here already. By the time this goes up, it's probably in my hot little hands and I'm listening to it. What album ended up in the top spot? We've already heard the position for debut. I suppose we sort of gave away the ranking for Fearless and for Red. It was actually way closer than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be far more diverse. To no one's surprise, Folklore is my top album. The margin for first and second is 0.2 away from each other. I mean, I surprised myself. I won't lie, I surprised myself. There are so many songs on Folklore that I identify with, and the overall sound is just too good for me to pass up. So of course, it's still my number one. Its sister album, Evermore, is my number 2, and like I said, only by 0.2. And upon writing the script for this video, I noticed I never even rated one of the songs, which could alter things, and at this point, I'm too scared to put a rating in and have it affect the rankings, so I'm just leaving it. I'm leaving it in the unknown. So here's my overall ranking of each of the albums. It's Folklore in number 1, Evermore, Midnights, Reputation, 1989, Red, Lover, Speak Now, Fearless, Debut. Obviously there are some songs here that are missing from the overall list. I tried to just keep it to the digital songs that we could find on Spotify, just your average person could find on Spotify. So there's obviously physical exclusives and other things like that that I don't have access to, at least on Spotify, but have heard elsewhere. But I didn't want to consider them just because it's not as accessible for all people, if they want to do this, to do it. So if you want to do it with yours, of course, please feel free. But for me, I just thought it would be easier if I just kept it to what I could find on Spotify. And of course, songs that don't have an album associated with it, or songs that she did for movies, I haven't considered, because the ultimate goal for this was for me to find my favorite album, not necessarily my favorite song. So that's why they've not been included as well. Just wanted to make a note of that. If you end up doing this, please, please, please tell me how you went with it. I would absolutely love to know. And I think I kind of alluded to this. I would love to do this again. Maybe when the Eras tour happens in Australia, which is in February of 2024, or maybe potentially when Taylor owns all of her own music. I think maybe that last one might be a better one to go with, just because it'll be very meaningful, and we'll have all the Vault songs out by then, and probably a few new albums to enjoy from Taylor. So I think it might be a good time by then to reassess and see where we're at with this. Let me know what you think. I would definitely be interested in having a look at this again, and who knows, maybe debut will be my number one. To those who were successful in getting tickets for the Australian shows, I hope that you have the most amazing time. The Australian Swifties are on another level. They literally had to add a show in each city that she's touring in because we were too powerful. We were too powerful. We broke the internet that day. I've got my fingers crossed for Resale. If it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. I'll just rewatch the Reputation tour on Netflix again and again and again and again and again and try not to cry. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And make sure you stay safe, stay hydrated, and stay beautiful.